The archaeologists and different people ended up deciphering some of the writings that were very, very uniform. And in all the translations from the archaeologists and like the people that studied dead languages was pretty much the when in translation from the dead language to modern English was that the devil is back. And they thought that they were dealing with a cult. So they started pretty much just as they were on their investigation, they were looking for a cult, but they never found anybody. So they continued to look in these caves where they found the markings and all the messages they were leaving. And all through the news, they were known as the messengers of the devil. And it was known in the case, the messengers of the devil. And they continued to search, but they never found anything until, I want to say, 6 months later. And 6 months later, they ended up they found evidence of the boy and the the investigator lady, the medium. They found them, they had dead eyes, and they were in the cabin. And they were just literally eating dinner like they were alive and they didn't care about anyone else. The problem was the boy was 16 and the parents wanted the boy back. The boy wouldn't leave the cabin. The lady they said she was mesmerized. She was mesmerized by evil. So they tried to get them out of the cabin. They went in there. They were flesh and blood, so they ended up handcuffing them. They brought them out. They didn't know what to do with them. So they brought them to a psychiatric hospital. They put them in isolation. They couldn't put them in the regular population because they would literally make all the other inmates of the psychiatric hospital go crazy. People would literally just start, it was like pure chaos. And honestly, and that's how they got their nickname, Messengers of the Devil. Because they made just everybody crazy, and you just felt the presence of evil that was around them. And everybody had nightmares, and they just literally, they never believed they were possessed. The church said they were possessed, but according to the law, they were not possessed. So it was a real tricky case. And the people were they didn't know what to do. This case became so controversial as time went on because the lady had money. She had her house and they could not hold her in the psychiatric hospital. Even though she appeared different with pale eyes, legally they could not hold her. And the boy, he didn't mind going back to his parents, but the parents did not want him there. So the boy ended up being given up for adoption. Nobody wanted him. He couldn't be fostered out. He just went from foster family to foster family. A lot of times he just stayed in isolation wherever he was because he literally did nothing wrong. He just literally just freaked people out. And it was said that death happened around these two individuals. The lady ended up going back to her house. She did literally nothing. They couldn't pin any murder on her, but people just would end up murdered, or just horrible things would happen when she was around. But nothing could be done to her because she did nothing. There was no fingerprints or nothing, but they said that her presence was felt for every murder scene. As for the boy, the one foster family, they ended up killing themselves. Everybody ended up either killing themselves or killing the people around them, and they ended up having to go to jail. But they said that literally the boy made him do it. And eventually these two individuals ended up dying a natural death. But the thing was, were they really messengers from the devil, or were they just dark souls? The world will never know.